Hi, and welcome back to the show, Examining Medicine from Traditional to Alternative and Beyond. And I'm excited to have on our show today Gian Torres. I'm excited to hear about his story on how he got to be this great entrepreneur at such a young age and helping people with their immune health. So today we're going to be talking about the secrets to building up a strong immunity system. So welcome to the show.
Hello, Dr. Hamilton. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you're here.
Hey, I'm happy. I'm happy to be with you and with your audience.
Yeah, so this will be a timely message because obviously we have the resurge of the pandemic now kind of everywhere. And so people are always wondering if there's anything I can do to help with my immunity. A, almost like in a preventative way. And then B, if I get sick and I don't want to take like antibiotics, what are some of the other things they can do? So before we answer those questions, I know you have a really interesting background on how you got into this. So I'm curious to have the audience hear about that.
Awesome. Well, again, super happy to be with you and with your
Thank you.
audience. And it really is, it makes me happy every time I do a podcast talking about this because I know how many people it can help because it helped me and my family. So just to go a little bit, more back, I remember everything really started with my grandparents from mom's side. They
Okay.
were always into nutrition, always into nutrition. My grandmother had her own health food store in Orlando, Florida. She was
Oh,
always
that's so
into,
cool. Like natural, right? Like more
yeah,
natural.
natural. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no, 100%. All natural. And then that's when like my whole family really started to learn about supplements, vitamin C, vitamin B, good diets, and all these things. And it started through her. And in this process, mom gets married and all these things. And in the same month of 9/11, my mom is diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
They also tell her that she's pregnant of my little brother Diego.
Yeah.
My dad loses his job, and my grandfather always gets cancer. This happens all kind of like in
Oh,
1 month.
wow. All at
Okay.
once.
So obviously, when you have cancer, that's a bad situation by itself.
Yeah.
And then when you're also pregnant, it's kind of like, what do you do now?
Yeah.
Right. So that's when you think you know it all, or when you think you know about nutrition, but then things like this happen, you're like, okay, then I have to go back and see what I did wrong.
Yeah.
Right? And in this process, even though they use conventional means, they use a lot of natural means, a lot of natural treatments that helped the process and helped my mom get into remission and helped so that my little brother could be born.
And when you
Because
say they, you mean doctor or like a combination of people? Like,
a combination of people, a
yeah.
combination of doctors, a natural doctors, a combination of own research on
Yeah.
nutrition, and all these things complemented with conventional medicine help my family
Yep. I
tremendously.
agree.
And this is when I think my family kind of like woke up, like, you know what? We thought we knew a lot. Now we have to really have an open mind forever,
Yeah.
because a closed mind is very expensive, right? Like they say.
Yeah.
So, they're like, okay, let's always keep growing and looking for the best nutrition ever. So even after cancer is in remission and my little brother's born, my family was always looking for something extra. Okay. Because for example, if you go to your doctor, right, and you say, hey, how
Yeah.
can I get a strong immune system? It's usually, hey, eat 8 to 10 fruits and veggies every day. Super important. Okay. Sleep well. Some
Yeah.
people need more hours. Some people need less hours, but generally sleep 6 to 8 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
We know as a doctor. Um, Exercise 30 minutes to 1 hour per day. Have low stress. And these are super good things for the immune system. They really are. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you have a bad lifestyle, it's very hard to have a strong immune system.
Yep.
But as you know, Dr. Hamilton, 90% of people don't do half of these things.
No, I was going to say that's not realistic for most
That's
people.
it's not realistic. Like I would love to say that I eat 8 to 10 fruits and veggies every single
Or
day,
exercise an hour a day.
every day, right? So you know how that works. So it's kind of like, okay, these are the fundamentals for a strong immune system. Yet most people don't do it.
Yeah.
So we always knew this, and that's why we're always looking for something extra for the immune system. And it's interesting how we found it. My mother, she got sick again at Dr. Hamilton. I remember basically my family and I, we've always been super active in volunteer work and in business,
Yeah.
always. And I remember little by little, she just started to decline. She started not to go out as much. So she started to be allergic to everything. She started to literally have no energy for anything, fatigue, chronic fatigue, pain in the whole body. And
And this was
we,
years after. How? This was after her cancer. She was in
oh,
remission.
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. This was, I would say, like probably like 15 years later.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And she just starts to decline to the point that mom was basically in bed for like almost 2 years.
Oh no.
And that was the darkest time of our lives. It really was, because we're so close, right? And in this process, what do we do, Dr. Hamilton? Well, we did the same thing that we did in the beginning, which was to go to conventional doctors, go to natural doctors, and combine both because we believe that's how you get best results.
Yeah.
And for some reason, this time it wasn't working out. We would go to natural doctors, spend a lot of money. We would see no difference. When we would go to a conventional doctor, they just couldn't find what she had. They would
Yeah.
say it was all in the brain, it was all psychological. And I think our family and I, we started to believe that also, that was psychological. And that made the situation worse for her because she would say,
Yeah.
hey,
I'm sure.
pain is not psychological. This is real pain, and I don't know where it's coming from. And then with the process, Dr. Hamilton, we noticed that it was lupus. They eventually found out that she had lupus. That she
Yeah.
had lupus was causing all this pain and all this
Yep.
chronic fatigue.
Yep. Sure can. Mm.
And so now we feel better because there's clarity,
Yeah.
right?
There's at least a diagnosis.
Yeah, correct, correct. There's clarity on the situation, but now it's like, what do we do? And in this process, Dr. Hamilton, someone says, hey, have you ever heard of glutathione therapy? And we had never heard about it. Now we were very skeptical because we thought that we knew everything.
Yeah.
And we were kind of like, no, 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 don't tell me about anything else. I've already tried everything. Don't tell me anything else. But guess what? If you've tried everything, it's like, no, like they say, nobody has ever tried everything.
Yeah.
So we had to once again change our mindset. Okay. So in that process, even though we were defensive, like I think most people would, Dr. Hamilton, we said, you know what? Let's at least investigate about it. And then we found out about a company in Canada that made a particular product that would raise glutathione inside the body naturally. So we said, you know what? Let's get it. We were also in a very bad financial situation, and let's give it to her. And what I remember, Dr. Hamilton, literally a week later passed. I wake up a Sunday morning. I don't forget this. I've said this story 1 million times, and I'm willing to say this story 10 million times because it feels like yesterday. I wake up, and I see her cleaning and reorganizing the whole kitchen. And I said, what happened to mom?
Yeah. Yeah. This is somebody who was bedridden, pretty much.
Yes, yes, exactly. And this was when we were in Florida before, and she was like, hey, I want to go walk at the beach. And dad, my little brother, I were like, what happened to mom? And that's when I said, okay, there's something different with glutathione. There's
Yeah.
something different with this product. But guess what, Dr. Hamilton? I still didn't understand what glutathione did. First of all, I thought the name was super complicated. And second of all, I didn't understand how it worked in the body. But I knew and I saw that my mom was out of bed. That was enough. So guess what? I became a raving fan of the product. I started consuming it for my immune system. Okay, dad, my little brother, my sister, my brother-in-law, everybody in our circle of influence started consuming it for preventive reasons
Mhm.
because of mom's story. But again, I still didn't know 100% what it did until one day they say, hey, look, there's, one of the top glutathione experts in the whole world. His name is Jim Spencer. He's going to give a seminar on glutathione in your city. Do you want to go? I said, I'm going. And I went. I remember that's when I understood everything about glutathione. And I said, okay. And mom and I looked at each other. We said, we're going to help a lot of people with this product. And it's been like over, like almost 5 years now. And we've helped over, 4 or 5,000 people raise glutathione. So that's our story on how we got into this.
Yeah, so that's awesome because it's funny, like not a lot of people didn't know, doesn't you're right, not a lot of people know about that, and I didn't know what supplement you were going to say because I was just like waiting, like, oh, what is it, what's the magic? But I love glutathione. It's one of my favorite supplements. I do a lot of combination conventional and natural, and some IV therapies, and especially in the pandemic, that's actually one of the ones that I use. We push a lot with the vitamin C. So
Absolutely.
I'm curious, can you tell the audience, because not a lot of people know about it, what is it and what does it do in the body?
Awesome. So glutathione is a molecule that we all have in our body. We're all born with glutathione. Okay, we're all born with glutathione, and we need it for good health. As simple as that. Now, in the 1980s, 1990s, there wasn't a lot of info on glutathione. there really was just like 2 or 3 papers on this topic. What's the fascinating thing about glutathione is there was an Italian scientist in Canada. His name was Dr. Gustavo Bunos, together with his colleague, Dr. Patricia Conchal. Okay, Dr. Patricia Conchal, just to give you and your audience a little history about these two. Dr. Patricia Conchal was the first woman immunologist in history. Okay, and Dr. Gustavo Bunos was such a respected scientist in the McGill University in Canada that they would actually pay him to investigate. Okay, so other universities would pay him and say, "Hey, look, here's this product. Try it on mice, see what it does." And Dr. Gustavo Bunos, he had a goal. His goal was not connected with the immune system in the beginning. His goal was to find a protein that would help cancer patients not lose as much weight. So his mother had died of cancer, and he saw how his mother, when she was in her end, she lost a lot of weight. And as you know, Dr. Hamlet, that's cachexia. So he was looking. He said, "What if I can find a protein that can prevent this?" That was it. There was no immune system involved here. So he tells his colleagues, and a lot of universities start to send him proteins so that he could test it on mice. Like in any lab. He says, "Okay." So for months, he's just testing proteins in mice. He wants to see which one's going to work, which one's going to work, which one's going to work. And in this process, a Swiss company says, "Hey, look, there's this particular protein. We don't use it ever. We actually just throw it away. But just try it on mice, see and see if there's any value with it." He says, "Okay."
Yeah.
He starts to give it to the mice. What does he find out, Dr. Hamilton? He sees that the immune system, the immune response is skyrocket. He says, "Huh, interesting. What does this protein have that the other proteins don't have?" This is where his curiosity starts to really, kick in. He says, "Huh." He starts to feed it in more mice. Same response. He starts to feed it in mice with illnesses. Same, the ones with illnesses start to get better. He starts to test in human beings, Dr. Hamilton. A great human response. He says, but he's still wondering, what does this protein have in do? And in this process, he's sitting down. The story is fascinating. It's in a book. And he's sitting down, and a colleague of his says, "Hey, what if this protein is raising glutathione?" He says, "Glutathione? That just might be." He starts to investigate about glutathione. And he's researching this, and he says it's absolutely glutathione. Now, what happens? Now the question is, what does protein have? So it turns out that when you get raw cow's milk and you take out the lactose, you take out the casein, and it has to be from raw cow's milk, and you only extract the protein, it has an amino acid called cysteine. Now, people say, "Oh, I can find cysteine in a lot of places." True, but most cysteine forms when it goes into the digestive tract, it breaks down really easily. So what happens is that the cysteine has to connect with cysteine, another amino acid, which creates bonded cysteine. And this form, it goes directly to your digestive tract. Your cells receive it, and your cells make glutathione the whole body. This is were made to raise glutathione. Now, guess what? He found out that bonded cysteine or cysteine is what mother's milk has. That's why babies, whenever they get mother's milk, they're a lot healthier than babies that don't.
That's
Because,
interesting because
yeah,
I didn't even know why people prefer or say, but that makes sense, and they usually do for sure say breast milk is better, like for immunity, and so I guess this is why. That's
you got it.
interesting. Yeah.
Because of the bonded cysteine. So he said, interesting. So he found out again, this same process is identical to mother's milk. So whenever your cells receive it, your cells naturally make glutathione in the whole body. Naturally. And what's more fascinating about this, Dr. Hamilton, and for everybody that's watching, listening, is that when your cells receive cysteine, this bonded cysteine, you can never overfeed it. It's fascinating how the cells work. It has a negative feedback that if you feed your body cysteine, your body will make the glutathione it needs. So
Okay.
this makes it a very effective process for everybody. So
Yeah.
in this whole process, he sees all these things, and then he finds out that it was a natural way to raise glutathione in the whole body. So it takes a while. He talks to the pharmaceutical companies. The pharmaceutical companies wanted to have it, but then some things happened. Just it didn't work
Yeah.
out, and then they just decided. He decided to um, uh, talk to some entrepreneurs, see, hey, is there any way I can help people with this product somehow? Because the pharmaceutical company said, no, I'm not sure if there's another way. And there was. And in this process, they put it in the PDR, in the pharmaceutical book in the US. They put in the CPS, some Canada, some pharmaceutical book. So for all the medical professionals that are watching, listening, they could just go to the medical professional book and see this product. The product is called Immunocal Platinum. What does it do? It raises glutathione. So with that, the glutathione topic starts to even go more forward, right? Because now it's like, okay, we found, but what does glutathione do? So he goes and talks to another doctor called Dr. Jimmy Gutman. And Dr. Jimmy Gutman is the author of the Encyclopedia of Glutathione now. Now, he also didn't know about glutathione, but he became obsessed about glutathione. This is what, there's over 150,000 articles on glutathione. So we're not going to go in detail, of course, of the medical part. But this is how he explained it to me, and this is how I explained it to everybody. There are over 4,000 antioxidants that we know, at least for now. Okay. And obviously the popular antioxidants are vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, right? And obviously, if you get a cold, what do most people do? They go to Walgreens, or Walmart,
They
and they
get
get some
vitamin
vitamin C, and
C.
they feel better. And they feel better, right? Because vitamin C destroys these free radicals that are causing this issue. So glutathione, of all the antioxidants, is the master antioxidant because it recharges and recycles all of the 4,000 antioxidants. So what I found out through this doctor is you can be feeding yourself with all kinds of antioxidants and you're going to feel better, obviously. But unless you're not raising glutathione inside all the cells, your body won't be using it at its max. For example, vitamin C. Once vitamin C enters the body and touches a free radical, it dies together with the free radical. Glutathione does it. So if you raise your body with glutathione, and you're also feeding yourself, for example, with vitamin C, glutathione starts to create more vitamin C, so your body's immune system starts to work better. So, as to when you raise this molecule, you're raising your antioxidant level to its best ever way possible. And this is what glutathione does, and that's why some people that raise it get amazing results.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I use it a lot in different things. Sick, like you have mentioned, but also so many people now have inflammatory states, right? Almost like lupus was a combination of autoimmune and inflammatory. That's why she had the
Absolutely.
pain. That's why and so have you been seeing these results with glutathione, like being able to decrease a lot of inflammation? So how have you been able to see this used from your experience?
Yes. I see it honestly every month. Every
Yeah.
month, I have people call me and say, "Hey, look, I heard about this product or these products, and I heard about glutathione, how it works. Explain to me how this might work with my autoimmune condition." And first of all, I always give you like this disclaimer. Look, I'm not a medical professional, so
Yeah.
always go to a medical professional before doing anything. I say, but I can give you this education. Okay, I said glutathione does what we talked about. Now, what I always tell them is, look, whatever you're doing, conventional or natural or both, if you raise glutathione, you will 100% see less inflammation. And we've helped over 4,000 or 5,000 people. And I would say of those 4,000 or 5,000 people, hundreds are people with autoimmune.
Yeah.
Hundreds,
Yeah.
literally, because they complement these products with what they're doing. And by raising glutathione, they see amazing results with autoimmune.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, like I always say, look, glutathione is not the cure at all. It's not something that's going to replace your doctor or anything else. But I do always say this. From research, it is the best complement to your body you can ever add to. Because if you have high levels of glutathione, your autoimmune condition will drastically better. So yes, to answer your question, we've
Yeah.
helped hundreds of people with autoimmune conditions.
Yeah, I agree. And I saw kind of on your one sheet that it's complementary, not alternative.
Yes.
So, and you kind of made that point because that was going to be my next question. Like, what's kind of what in your opinion is the difference between complementary supplements and then alternative medicine? And you're saying whatever regimen that you're on, you need that also, but this can just kind of enhance, so to speak, or
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, absolutely. And to go just a little bit farther with the whole alternative and complementary medicine, this is a topic I do like because when I entered into this, I would say this industry, right? When, of nutrition in general. I saw how a lot of natural doctors and conventional doctors were against each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's so sad
Me
for a lot of
too.
reasons, and I think it's sad because I think, honestly, Dr. Hamilton, it's a lack of research from both parts. If you're against conventional and conventional is against natural, I think there's some lack of research and some ego, okay? Because there's no reason to be against. And I learned this from Dr. Jimmy Gutman, okay?
Yeah.
The world-renowned expert on glutathione, because he said in his book, and this is where I got it from. He said, look, there's no reason to even use the word alternative. He said, use the word complementary, and he explains it best. He says, look, conventional medicine, it's needed, absolutely,
Yes,
it saves
correct.
lives,
I agree. Yeah.
saves lives. And natural medicine is needed, it also saves lives, okay? I would prefer, and I know you would prefer, Dr. Hamilton, for, I mean, actually, no, I think everybody would prefer not to consume any drug, because
Yeah.
it's better. Now, at times, you need drugs to
Yeah.
save and for your condition. So when you combine both with research, with compelling research, and you use both and you complement both, the results are amazing. Look, I know so many people that have gone to conventional doctors with no results. And I know so many people that have gone to
Yeah.
natural
Correct.
doctors with no results also. Now, every time I see somebody combine both, the results are phenomenal. So that's why I always say, look, go to both. Okay, go also to where you believe. Okay, because everybody has their own beliefs. Honestly, but glutathione is something that it doesn't go against anything, and I'm so passionate about this whole complement because I think if most doctors understood this, oh, it would be so much better.
I agree. So, how do you take it? Do you take it every day? Is it in pill form? How does your company now like provide it to other people?
Yes.
And what do
So,
you guys recommend?
yep. So since this is a protein, it comes in pouches. Okay, so each pouch of the product brings 9 grams of protein. Okay, of this bonded cysteine. Now, let me explain something that I did it and I should have in the beginning. We have Immunocal, which is the main bonded cysteine product. We have Immunocal Platinum. What's the difference? They both have the same bonded cysteine, the same 9 grams of bonded cysteine. What happens is that the platinum version, in 2008, a immunologist called Dr. Wolf Droga, okay, he saw that whenever someone goes above the age of 35, they start to have more inflammation naturally, and they
Yeah.
start to age a lot quicker, as you know, Dr.
Yep.
Howe. So what he saw was that raising glutathione, though crucial, he saw it necessary to add 2 extra ingredients. Okay, he sought to add some extra minerals and some creatine to the platinum version. What did he see? Once they added these extra minerals and creatine, it does something called it's a redox formula. So basically, as you know, Dr. Hamilton, the cells have like a clock, right?
Yeah.
And if the
Yeah.
clock is giving you the wrong time, you obviously start to age quicker. Okay, and this is part of the antioxidant process. So what he saw is that once you add these extra minerals and creatine to the bonded cysteine, and your body starts to raise glutathione, this clock starts to give you the right time quicker. So basically, the antioxidant support is a lot better. So the Immunocal and Immunocal Platinum is for different types of people, though anybody can consume it. So this is what we recommend. Anybody under the age of 35 that has no illnesses, just is looking for good health, good maintenance, okay? Consume just 1 pouch a day of the Immunocal regular. That's all you need. That's what I do, okay?
Is this
Because
a
of the,
powder or a
yeah, it's a powder.
capsule? It's a
Yeah, it's a
powder.
powder. It's a powder. So
And you
basically, go
add
for it.
it into what? Like water or
I'm a
okay.
liquid. Liquid, it has a funky taste depending on the liquid you mix it. So if you're picky, for example, then water probably is not the best idea because it basically tastes like powdered water, and most people won't like that. Now, if you mix it with orange juice or apple juice or even yogurt, it's gonna take fantastic.
Okay. Okay.
The platinum has more of a little sour taste, but it's not that bad. And again, it just depends on the liquid you consume it. Now, we always suggest to never mix it with heat or blend the product because this can damage the bonded cysteine.
So don't drink it with coffee. Don't mix it
No,
with a hot coffee.
no, never,
Yeah,
never.
okay, good. Or
And
tea.
yeah, you got it. Don't mix it with
Okay.
coffee. It's not collagen, right? You know how
Yeah,
collagen,
yeah.
like you could put in whatever in a blender and coffee, you're good. It's definitely not collagen because the bonded cysteine is so sensitive that any heat can just destroy it. So, like I was saying, if you're under the age of 35, you can consume just one pouch of the regular, and that's fine for prevention. Because of the pandemic, if I'm honest, I'm a Dr. Hamilton, I've been consuming something a little bit more just for extra protection, but that's me. But generally, one pouch is fine. Now, if you're over the age of 35, what we suggest is consuming one of the platinum and one of the regular because of what the platinum can do with people over 35. So in this case, it would be one, it would be two pouches. First, how we suggest it always is to consume it first thing in the morning while you're fasting, because it's been proven that when you wake up is when you have your lowest levels of glutathione. So we suggest while you're fasting, consume immunocaminocapano. Now, with all this in mind, these are preventive dosages.
Yes.
Everybody is different, okay? Because if someone has an autoimmune illness, has cancer, has diabetes, okay, these are problems. We always suggest to drink a little bit more, to consume a little bit more just in the beginning, so that the body can make enough glutathione. And then if the person gets better, then to go back to a preventive dosage. So anything could vary, right? So, someone, for example, my mom, she was so ill, she had to consume 4 pouches a day for like a month of the platinum
Yeah.
because she was so ill. Okay, some people with diabetes or any autoimmune condition have to consume 4. Some people with cancer have to consume 6 or 8 pouches because this has a pharmaceutical patent that it can work for cancer. So so everything
Correct.
varies, right?
Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
general, 1 pouch if you're under 35, 2 pouches if you're over 35.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And then what's the website where they can get this?
Yes. So there's two ways to get this. I personally like to help people. Like, because okay, anybody can just go to the general website, which is immunotec.com/ this is Gianco. So Gianco is Gianco. That's my nickname. And they can just go, I'm gonna do the product and check out and buy. I honestly would prefer for the one that's watching, let's say, not to do that, because I like to see how I can help them. So in this case, I would want the person to contact me through email, through text, through phone.
Okay.
And so for that, just go to thisisjonko.com. That's my personal website. And then that's where you can email me, you can send me a text, you can call me. And then from there I can say, hey, you know what? I think you need this much. I think you need that much. Because I just don't want people, to buy something or to get something and when they probably need less dosage or more dosage. You're following me?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
now, but again, for the ones listening and watching, if you just don't want to contact me at all and you just want to buy it directly, yeah, immunotech.com/ this is Jonko. Immunotech actually is immunotec.com/ this is Jonko. Now, if you want personal contact, this is Jonko.com.
Okay. And we'll put that in the notes too. I'm writing this down because I think I will need the platinum, which is okay. But
Okay,
I'm
great,
also going to try it.
awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show and educating us. So glutathione, and I also agree. It's a great it's a powerful antioxidant. And the fact I only give it IV, right? I didn't know it was available in powder form, and so that's great. Now everybody can get it because now people have to physically come in the office and get it pushed through an IV. So I think this is a much better option for many people. So thank you for sharing how to make our immune system strong, also giving us some anti-aging tips that we can also do with glutathione. It does everything.
Well, it's my pleasure, Dr. Hamilton, and I hope for the ones that are watching and listening that I was able to teach you something and help you, just like so many people have helped me. And Dr. Hamilton, thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Thank you.